Alright everyone, the shadow brokers strike again. I believe this is the same group that managed to gain access to like people's material through YouTube partner networks a while ago, and I think PewDiePie himself and some of these other larger YouTubers were affected. And it was almost very white hat at the time, like almost like testing a security vulnerability and just using it to spread their name out there. Because they gained access, they like mass changed the descriptions, but they never fiddled with anyone's personal info or like read through their messages or any weird shit like that. Although if you get someone like PewDiePie, you get like probably 10,000 messages a day, it's going to take a while to read them all. But they gained access to some of the partner networks at the time, and it was kind of above board, and then YouTube, I assume, leaned on these off-site companies to fix the vulnerability. Although you never know, Google didn't really respond to it that much. Or at all, actually, I think, which is kind of mysterious. And I would never join a partner network. That's part of the reason. The other part is, like, some of them are kind of shifty, and you're probably not making as much anyway. And I think they do run ads, like, on content, so fuck them. But here's the thing. Shadow Brokers this time has gone after a more general ransomware attack on various systems, using a worm that can actually go through the system and continuously infect new computers. What that's led to is the virtual breakdown at the time yesterday of the British health system. People were having to have like surgeries rescheduled and weird shit like that, infected their systems. The German transportation system, I think, has shut down some of their trains and subways. And you know how anally retentive Germany gets about the trains running on time. It must have been like Armageddon over there in Berlin or Munich or someplace like that. And it's spread throughout to like 100 different countries, infecting some of these systems everywhere. And the ransomware, essentially what it is, it encrypts everything, and it gives you a prompt. Oh, yeah, you pay a certain amount to this, site, before, X amount of time, and your files are fine. You get them all back. Everything's hunky-dory. You don't pay, and it's going to delete all your files, and your computer's permanently inoperable because you're not going to break the encryption. And so it's literally like a ransom. And they were asking, I think, for $300 in Bitcoin to free up these systems. So they probably some people would pay them off. They actually, on the corporate news, suggested to people that they should just pay it off unless it's like an exorbitant fee. If you got anything important, you might as well pay it off because otherwise you're out of computer. You're going to have to wipe everything, new hard drive, new everything, and you're not going to get those files back. So all those precious family photos that you didn't think to back up to a flash drive and store in your closet or something, yeah, they're fucked. You might as well just pay if you've got the money to do so. And them asking through Bitcoin is funny, though, because some of these governments don't appear to know what Bitcoin is. They think it's like, drug dealer currency on a black market or something. They don't realize how above board it has actually become in these cryptocurrency systems. So they probably don't even know how to pay it off. So it's like those computers at the NHS, they're just permanently fucked up or something like that. I wonder if any of these like governments or health systems actually paid the ransomware fee. Possibly. But I would think another thing is, like, if you have multiple computers on the same system infected, and you pay it off, wouldn't it just get reinfected since this is a worm? I'm thinking possibly. Maybe there's something built into the code that leaves behind a signature that tells the virus not to infect that computer again or something. I don't know. But I mean, they were kind of white hat-ish before with the YouTube partnership firms, so I would assume if you pay this off, you're probably covered. They seem to be not necessarily good guy hackers, but it doesn't look like they're out for world chaos, and I think they released a statement saying this is like a protest of Trump or something like that, which might explain why they didn't go after like social media accounts, because the alt media, even on YouTube, when like Paul Joseph Watson or somebody, or myself, points out that it tends to be more pro-Trump than the corporate media, that's true. But if he does something dishonest and totally like shitfuck mode, the internet's going to turn on him really quick, and that's where your primary, firepower against his policies would be coming from. Hell, the corporate media, if he did anything truly shitfuckery, the corporate media would start liking him because they like being corrupt. And then it'd be left up once again to the internet to support actual truth and reason or something like that. That might explain their actions. I believe it was the shadow brokers the last time with the YouTube partnership firms. So it's all very funny. But one takeaway here is to think. if an entire health system or transportation systems can be knocked out by some ransomware, what would happen if there was an even larger, like state-sponsored, more sophisticated worldwide virus, or an EMP or something like that that knocked a lot of these systems offline permanently for extended periods? Are you saying that the health infrastructure of these legalistic Western nations would cease to function because they wouldn't have any actual paper records? Or it'd be too slow and it would grind the system near to a halt? Or the transportation system wouldn't work at all because they wouldn't be able to figure, those digital passes, those RFID chips that you use to board the train or whatever don't work, so it's illegal for us to let anyone ride them. This is the problem with legalism. It's also the problem with having things a little bit too over-digitized and having people too inept to do things on paper or in their heads as far as math goes. Or have, like, how did trains work before the digital era? We can't even figure it out. Well, they work through mechanical means, or they work through, here's my fucking pass, it's obviously real. Put a stamp on it or something, I board the train and do what the fuck I want. That's how they worked. I can remember the vaguely pre-digital style of retail from when I was a little kid. Barely, but it was there. Yeah, you had like the barcodes and the barcode scanners and stuff, but a lot of stuff, it was still much more manual. It's like there were still a few stores around here that until the last few years didn't get upgraded to the new kind of computing that they have at the checkout line now. I think Tops was one of them. I think it was last year they installed their new system. No, they were using still semi-manual, like 80s looking dinosaurs for your purchases up until then. And honestly, that system was more reliable than what they use now. And I don't think you could really infect that with a virus. It's electronic, but it's not part of a larger network. I think they've automated things a little bit too much almost now, and made things very, very vulnerable. It's like there's a power outage. All the stores close. Oh, well, we can't keep our tax records, so we can't sell anything. It's like, what would happen in a total shit hits the fan scenario? Well, this is a little bit of an indicator of that for those of you who rely upon the health service in the UK, or you want to travel somewhere with the Gestapo in Germany or something. And I know Germans still are censored from accessing my channel fully, generally speaking. Yeah, you live in a Gestapo state. Angela Merkel is like literally Hitler or something like that. She loves censorship. So the shadow brokers have done it again, and it got everyone very upset. Although it's a little bit funny when you think about it. It is. These systems, they completely break down because there's a virus. They stop working at all. Don't you realize how vulnerable these systems are? Because you don't have any backup in place for if they go down. You just rely on the government to keep them safe. Wonderful job. Yeah, that's gonna work. No, what it eventually leads to is there isn't a massive solar flare or an EMP strike by North Korea or anyone else that gains the ability to do so, or an even bigger virus down the line and knocks out half the world's economy because you don't know how to back anything up. Nobody knows how to do anything without the internet. So that would be a little bit of a problem. I think it might cause the collapse of world order. That's about all. Peace out.